Hi everyone, and welcome to the Pecos Aesthetic Woodshop. Crosscut sleds are a jig that make your cuts safer, faster, and perfectly repeatable. I'm sure you've seen videos on YouTube about how to build a crosscut sled, but most are aimed towards intermediate or pro woodworkers who are looking for a fancy sled. This video is for the beginner, who hasn't acquired a hoard of tools yet, who just wants to get started and build a jig to improve accuracy. And make sure you watch till the end of the video because I'm going to talk about some uses for your crosscut sled once you get it built. And when you're ready, if you want to do some upgrades, I'll talk about some of those too. I wanted to start off by stating the obvious. I have a SawStop cabinet saw, but I didn't start out with a full-on cabinet saw like this. I started with a contractor saw, which I'm sure most people starting out start with instead of jumping right to a cabinet saw because they are very expensive. So keeping that in mind, I made this sled a size that's more conducive to a contractor's style saw than this specific cabinet saw. Be adapted to any saw. That's why I chose it. For sled material, I think it boils down to two main choices, either MDF or plywood. Both are good options. Both don't move a lot. I'm going with 3/4 inch MDF. You could also go with 1/2 inch MDF. It's kind of personal preference based on whether you want a lighter sled. And I'm using MDF versus plywood because I just use MDF for most of my jigs. It cuts clean, it's uniform looking, but if you want to go with plywood, you can do that as well. We're going to first start off by cutting our runners. And for our runner material, these are what's going to go in our miter slots. I'm going to use a hardwood. And the reason that I'm using hardwood runners versus MDF is because MDF, if it gets damp in the shop on a humid day or if it gets wet at all, it can expand, and we want these to be precise, and the hardwood will tend to move a little bit less. Options for upgrading in the future, they do make runners in this special plastic, and I forget what the acronym is. It's like HDPE, something like that, which is something you could definitely upgrade to in the future if you want. But I think since this is a beginner sled and we want to be using what we have on hand and make this an easy build, I'm going to use hardwood runners, also because it's nice and cheap. The miter slots on this saw are 3/4 inches wide by 3/8 inches deep. So what I'm first going to do is cut two pieces that are a little bit over 3/4 inches so then I can hone it down and get a nice perfect fit. That is pretty close. I'm just going to take off a little bit here. That is pretty good. It's a nice tight fit. It's almost too tight, and I can hone it in with some sanding. One more thing with your runners, because wood tends to move with the grain and you're using hardwood, so the wood will move a tiny bit. To minimize the amount of movement you get, try to find runners that have grain going in a vertical direction. That will minimize the amount of movement that you get in your runners and give you the best result. If you're building your first crosscut sled, drop a comment and let me know what you're most nervous about. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. So now I'm going to cut my base out of a 3/4 inch MDF, and the base is going to be 17 inches by 24 inches. It's not critical that the edge of this cut is perfectly straight. So normally, since I don't have a crosscut sled, I could use a miter gauge to make this cut. But since I'm not worried about it being perfectly straight, I'm not going to bother with that. Some woodworking irony for you. I could really use a crosscut sled to cut this piece. So the next thing we want to do is install our runners, and there's a couple things to talk about with this step. The first one being, where do you want the actual sled in reference to your miter slots? Some people like putting it off to one side versus the other. For our very first sled, I'm going to do it right in the dead center. Then when you start using your sled a little bit, you can figure out what your preferences are. You can make another sled and update it if you want. So the first thing we need to do is take something to raise up our runners out of the miter slot. I'm using some double stacked washers. Nuts work really good. Pennies work really good. Anything to just raise up the surface, raise up the runner so that there's just a little bit showing up out of the miter slot. And that is because when we attach the runners to our sled, we don't want them touching the miter slot surface because that'll increase the friction. We want the friction as low as possible. So by raising them up a little bit when we attach the sled on it, and then we go to put it back down, the runners won't actually be touching the miter slot bottom. Good, so I got those set, and then I can put my runners. And I have my fence locked down, and you're using your fence as a reference. So you're going to place your base against your sled and then slowly lower it down onto your runners. And then you know your runners are going to be in the exact right position. I'm going to use some CA glue. Spray on my activator. And then slowly lower my sled top. With the activator on the CA glue, you need to apply pressure for 10 seconds to get a good bond. You can take that off. Perfect. Now my runners are where I want them to be. I'm going to put some countersunk holes with some screws in there just to reinforce the runners. Now we're going to cut our fences, and for this we need 4 pieces that are 3 inches wide by 24 inches long. Always lose my pencils, always. So now we have 4 3-inch pieces that are 24 inches long. We want our fence to be nice and thick. This is what's going to give our sled some support. So we're going to join these together to create a 1.5 inch thick fence for the front and for the back. I'm going to use CA glue to join these again. So now we're going to attach our fences. We'll put the back fence on first. This does not need to be square to the sled. So we can attach this here and not be too concerned with how square it is to the actual sled. Now that we have that back fence installed, we can go ahead and make a cut with our table saw. What we're going to do is make this cut about 1 inch high, and we're going to bring it a little bit past halfway. We don't want to go all the way to the end at this point. For putting in the back fence, this fence is essential to be square to your blade. That's the whole point of the crosscut sled, right? We want it to make perfectly square crosscuts. So for that, I'm going to put my fence in. I'm going to countersink some holes in the back so I can put screws in. What I'm going to do is put my fence on, and I'm going to place 1 screw on this end so it can act as a pivot. And once that screws in, I'll use a square to then square it up, clamp it down, and then put in my other screw. All right, now that it's right where I want it, I can put in my other screw. Now we can put our cut all the way through our piece here. Make sure to keep your hands clear of the blade. Now we have the sled almost complete, but we want to think about safety. So this area right here where the blade comes through on the back, it's obviously a hazard. You don't want to be cutting into your fingers. So we're going to put a block of wood here that reminds us when we put our hands on the sled, we don't put our fingers anywhere on that block. Now when I go to put my sled back on, I slide it in the tracks, and now I can push the saw, and as a reminder, don't get my thumbs or hands anywhere on this block. Keep them outside. One last step we need to do with our sled is put some polyurethane on the back, and that's because we're going to put paste wax on the bottom of the sled to help it slide, but with MDF, you need to put a little bit of a film layer on first. Polyurethane's great so that that paste wax has something to adhere to and it doesn't seep into the wood. And this is just going to help the sled glide nice and smooth on the surface of the table saw. You can also use your paste wax to coat the surface of your cast iron, any cast iron in your shop. It's a really good protectant layer. Now we'll do our glide test. That is perfect. So I said at the end of the video I was going to talk about what are the uses for your crosscut sled and what are some possible upgrades. The main use for your table saw sled is to make cuts faster, safer, more accurate, and with less tear out. So more accurate, safer, all that jazz. More accurate than what? More accurate than if you were using your miter saw, a circular saw, or your table saw with a miter gauge. All of those are decent options to make crosscuts, but your table saw is going to be better than all those options. The reason being, it provides support on both sides of the cut, so you get less tear out. It's safer than a miter saw gauge. It's more accurate because it has two miter saw slides that basically allow for zero wiggle room compared to your miter saw gauge, which is going to have a little bit of wiggle in it. It's the only real way to cut extra wide panels. I have a Bosch sliding compound miter saw that lets me cut 14-inch wide panels, but anything longer than that, there's no real good way to cut it unless you have a track saw. So you can make a specific table saw sled for a bunch of different things, or you can take your existing table saw sled and upgrade it. So one of the things you can do is add a stop block on it. That lets you make a bunch of repeatable cuts very fast and accurate. You can add a miter attachment to make 45-degree miter cuts quickly, accurately, safely for picture frame. You can add an extension arm that slides out so you can make really long cross cuts. The possibilities are really endless. Keep your eyes peeled for a video on the future. I'm going to make an upgraded crosscut sled with some of these features integrated for use in my own shop, and I'm going to have a build video, and I'm going to make plans for that as well. Thanks for hanging out in the shop today with me, guys. Keep learning, keep building, and I'll see you guys in the comments.